So, welcome to today's lecture on glass ionomer cements. I am Dr. Pawan. Glass ionomer cements are first evolved from silicate cements. They are actually hybrids of silicate and polycarboxylate cements. They were first introduced by Wilson and Kent in 1975, and then metal reinforced glass ionomer cement was introduced in 1977. Resin modified glass ionomer cement was introduced in 1980. Light cured resin modified GIC was introduced in 1990. They were mainly indicated in aesthetic regions like Class 3 and Class 4 restorations, cervical erosions. They are used as permanent restorative material in periodontic restorations as base or liner, and they are also used for luting the prosthodontic crowns, orthodontic brackets used as intermediate restorative materials, and pit and fissure sealants to prevent caries, and also used as core build-up materials. Advantages of the glass ionomer cements are they are tooth colored, they are able to bond to the tooth, chemically bond to the tooth, and they release fluoride which prevents the caries formation. They have the thermal coefficient of expansion similar to that of the tooth and have good biocompatibility. In spite of these advantages, the glass ionomer cements tend to have low fracture toughness, so they are not indicated in high stress bearing areas, and they can be finished in the same appointment. They have low wear resistance and flexural strength, and they are vulnerable to the acid erosion. Types. Generally, there are three types of glass ionomer cements. There are conventional glass ionomer cements, metal reinforced glass ionomer cements, and resin modified glass ionomer cements. They are also classified as luting agents for crowns and bridges and orthodontic brackets. In these, the powder liquid ratio is 1.5:1, and type 2, which is again divided into type 2A aesthetic restorative materials indicated in aesthetic areas, and they have wide range of translucencies and have prolonged setting. They are subject to water loss and requires protection during initial setting. Their powder liquid ratio is 3:1, and reinforced restorative material they are used in high stress bearing areas. Their powder liquid ratio is 3:1. And type 3, which are again divided into lining cements, which powder liquid ratio 1.5:1 and bases 3.3:1 powder ratio required. These are used in sandwich restorations. The glass ionomer cement generally consists of three constituents: the glass, acid, and the water. The glass is mainly composed of ion leachable glass, which consists of silica, alumina, aluminum fluoride, calcium fluoride, and sodium fluoride. The ratio of alumina to the silica indicates the reactivity of the glass. So the liquid component consists of copolymers of polyacrylic acid, itacolinic acid, and malic acid, and this tends to have low shelf life period because as the time prolongs, the liquid undergoes highly viscous in nature and can't bond to the tooth material. So to avoid this, the tartaric acid is added, which improves the handling properties and decreases viscosity. It also increases the working time by formation of calcium tartarate and shortens the setting time. The setting reaction generally includes the ion leaching phase, in which the protons released from the ionization of polyacrylic acid attacks the surface of glass powder to release calcium aluminum fluoride ions. These ions goes into the liquid and bonds to the carboxyl group of polyacrylic acid, leads to formation of cross-linking. And also the sodium ions released mediates the formation of orthosilicic acid gel around the powder particles, and overall this reaction will lead to formation of a gel phase. Slowly there will be increase in aluminum cross-linking by replacing the calcium cross-linking chains, and this leads to increase in the compressive strength and also opacity, and there will be also the increase in ratio of bound to the unbound water, and this results in improving the characteristics of the said GSE, and this process is known as maturation or hydration. Generally, the initial setting time will be around 4 to 5 minutes, and the final setting time will prolong up to 4 to 48 hours. The role of water in glass enamel setting is it acts as a solvent and a medium for transport of ions. There will be two forms of water, that are loosely bound and the tightly bound. The loss of loosely bound water will result in formation of crazing and cracks, which increases the white chalky areas in the set cement, and whereas the moisture contamination causes the loss of ions, leading to the weak cement formation. As the cement matures, the ratio of the tightly bound to the loosely bound water increases, and there will be decreased susceptibility to loss of water. This is the picture showing the finally set glass ionomer cements, where there will be formation of calcium acrylate chains and aluminum acrylate chains. The bonding of GIC to the tooth occurs by two mechanisms. One is the stronger bond that is formed is an ionic bond between the calcium of the tooth and the carboxyl group of the set cements, whereas the weak bond is formed between the carboxyl groups and the hydrogen groups of the collagen molecules. Fluoride release. Generally, the fluoride is present in the set cement. The ions that are not takes place in the reaction are fluoride and sodium ions. These fluoride ions later are released into the oral environment. There are two types of release. They are short-term release and the long-term release. During the short-term release, which occurs for about first week, there will be increased amount of the fluoride release after the few days after placement in the oral cavity, and they decline sharply, which stabilizes after 2 to 3 months. Afterwards, the long-term fluoride release will occur by diffusion through the restorative materials. So, the long-term release is lower than that of the short-term release, but it is sufficient to prevent the caries. So, there are ways to replenish this fluoride by using the paste contain fluoride and also the fluoride ions present in the saliva. This leads to the recharge of the glass ionomer cements. Manipulation. So the armamentarium required for the manipulation of the GSE are paper pad or glass slab, cold glass slab, and the flexible metal spatula or the plastic spatula. So using the scoop, take 1 scoop of the powder and also dispense 1 drop of the liquid. So, and it is divided into 2 halves. First, the 1 half is added and mixed thoroughly, and then the other half is added and mixed by using rolling or folding method, such that all particles get incorporated into the liquid, and this is consistency. The mixing time should not be more than 45 minutes, and this leads to formation, and this is the luting consistency. And then the restoration. Prepare the tooth surface, clean the tooth surface with the pumice and the water, and apply 10% of polyacrylic acid for 10 seconds to condition the dent in our tooth. This is the preparation, and surface should be dried but not desiccated. The glass ionomer mix is placed into tooth preparation and is supported by the matrix, and it should be protected for 24 hours by using Vaseline, cocoa butter or varnishes over the surface of the material soon after the placement. Sandwich technique. So the GIC is used as a base or dentin substitute in the composite restorations where the cavity or carious lesion is deep or deep interproximally. In these situations, what we'll do is the gingiva is placed in GIC is placed in the gingival half of the proximal box. Over it, the composite is placed. So, the advantages of this technique is it reduces the polymerization shrinkage and of the composite and also saves time. So this ends the today's lecture, and this step requires etching of the glass ionomer, and the etching is not required in the cases where the resin modified GIC is used as a base. This ends today's lecture, and in next class we will deal about properties of the glass ionomer cement and different types of the glass ionomer cements. Thank you.